All right, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. And check your body and check your mind. So whatever is arising in your mind right now. If it's messy or clear or happy, it's all good. And check your legs and your hands, meditation mudra, and your sit bones slightly raised, shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. You can imagine there's a puppeteer above you, just very gently lengthening that string of pearls. And you just imagine as that's happening, all those muscles along the back of the spine are releasing, letting go. And just very gently tip your head ever so slightly forward. So we're not just allowing this bowling ball of a head to just kind of flop forward, because that puts too much stress on the neck and the back, upper back. Just very gently tip from the top. And not too far down, you'll fall asleep. Not too far up, it creates agitation in the mind. So just very gently tip forward, putting a little bit of length in the back of the neck. Take a nice deep breath and relax. Let go of all the stress of the day. Tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. If your eyes were open, they'd be looking along the length of the nose to a spot about 2 inches ahead. And relax the jaw. And let's bring our attention to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, and the mouth. And bring your attention to the back of the head, the scalp there. Relax the base of the skull, the ears, the jaw, the back of the tongue. And relax the back of the neck. So release any tension there. Relax your shoulders. Allow the shoulder blades to drop down. Release the throat, the chest, the belly, limbs, hands, fingers and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath. And just notice the sensation of the air flowing in and out of the nostrils. And just for a moment pay attention to any sound that's in your environment. Be aware of it and just allow it to be there. And notice what distracts your mind, what brings you away. What kinds of sounds. And then bring the mind back to the breath. And just see what thoughts are arising now. And try not to judge them or have opinions about them. Just allow them. Try and put some space in between the thoughts. And then just meet yourself where you're at, without expectation. So this river of mental moments of ours, try not to get swept away or entangled, going down some rabbit hole of a storyline. Take a step back and try and be objective about what's arising in the mind, almost like a scientist. And as you're sitting on the bank of our river, you're free from that river. So bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, our besties, those dear and near to us, our hearts. And then our people who are a little bit difficult for us. And then there's our strangers. And bear in mind that these three groups of people could change place at any time in our life. And they're just like us, actually. Because everybody wants to be happy. No one wants to be suffering. And everybody has this incredible capacity for this enlightened mind. So let's just bring the mind to our breath and just think that we'll do this practice tonight for all these people of our life. And for everybody here in the meditation as well, we're doing for each other, dedicating for each other. And also rejoice in each other's commitment and dedication in turning up night after night. It's kind of amazing. So just remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. So this purification process is basically, it's a psychological one. And if you think about it, all the negativity that we create starts in the mind. It starts with a thought. Actions just don't come out of nowhere. It starts with the mind. So we can change the way we think very easily. Plasticity is real. So think, starting with the power of regret. And like I've been saying, this is not guilt. Guilt is almost like handing your power over to somebody else. Oh, I'm so bad, please forgive me. No. We regret, we take responsibility. I did this, I did that. Now what can I do about it? So bring to mind all those people of your life who maybe you've hurt in some way. And think maybe, was there a specific action or something with speech, something you did, maybe something you regret because it led to a bunch of other things. And once the cat was out of the bag, it was too late to put it back. So we have regret. And the reason we regret is not to give ourselves a hard time. It's based on this logic of karma. So having harmed others, we're going to suffer in the future. And we just don't want to be keeping on repeating that cycle. So logically, it would make sense that we pull these seeds out before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And we also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think again, I'm sick of this suffering. So then we think, who can I turn to? What can I do about it? So here we come to the power of reliance. The first little section here is on refuge. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods we can use to purify. It's not that we need Buddha to forgive us. We purify ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And he's your guru manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. So you can just imagine this is your trusted mentor, your spiritual guide, however you call them in your mind. And you can imagine he's made of blissful, radiant white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. Then has this beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes are shaped like lotus petals, and they're full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has no judgmental thoughts towards you. He's just accepting you exactly as you are turning up tonight. His hair is black and held up in a top knot, and he's wearing this 5-pointed crown embedded with jewels, and he's wearing jewelry around his neck and his arms, his wrists and ankles and waist. And he has these beautiful silken robes and scarves in the Royal Indian style. And he has an aura of light around his head and around his body. And his arms are crossed at his heart. And you imagine the left is closest to the heart, and the right, the left, so it's underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, and this represents wisdom. And the right is holding a Vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, the enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then in general all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you. And we try and have compassion for them. This is a wish for them to be free from suffering, because the harm they've caused you is going to cause them suffering in the future, will result in suffering in the future for them. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So the next is the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. So we're doing visualization and mantra recitation here. So we start with the purification of the body, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, almost like coming out of a hose very forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it pours into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa sipokaya mibawa. Anurakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with the body. So just think the moment they see you, hear you, feel you, smell you, it benefits their mind. So the next is a purification of the speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can just imagine that all your gossip and harsh speech and useless speech and careless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa sipokaya mibawa. Anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa sipokaya mibawa. Anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa sipokaya mibawa. Anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa sipokaya mibawa. Anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa sipokaya mibawa. Anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa sipokaya mibawa. Anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa sipokaya mibawa. Anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And the next is a purification of the mind. Vajrasattva again very happily sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light, the darkness is instantly dispelled. It's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and neediness and anger and depression, anxiety, bitterness and grudges and jealousy is all instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahazamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So now be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, gone. And just think that your heart is open and spacious and just full of love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So that's all that's in there. No disturbing thoughts. So next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. And imagine this time Vajrasattva sends light and nectar and it fills you completely. And you can, if you wish, do the visualizations of the body, the speech and the mind. So it's like an extra wash and a couple of mantras for each. But if that's too complicated, you can just, again, just wherever you're at right now, you can imagine light and nectar pouring in and eradicating completely even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anaraktamibhawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibhawa Sutokaya Mibhawa Sipokaya Mibhawa Anaraktamibhawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibhawa Sutokaya Mibhawa Sipokaya Mibhawa Anaraktamibhawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibhawa Sutokaya Mibhawa Sipokaya Mibhawa Anaraktamibhawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So now feel, you'll just think, I'm completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So that should be just a great big weight, great big lump of weight off your shoulders. And you feel light and blissful. So next is the power of resolve. And this is just this really important step in the purification process where we decide we're going to refrain from doing actions that we know are harmful to ourselves and others. So if we have maybe a habit to eat too much sugar, if we're addicted to chocolate, or biscuits, cookies, as you call them here. So just think, I'll refrain from eating a cookie for a day, or for a week, or for 5 minutes. The time doesn't matter, it's the action in the mind of actually refraining and then giving yourself a timeline and then sticking to it. So if you know it's going to be difficult for you to refrain from eating a cookie for a week, you bring that down to half an hour or a day or half a day, whatever it is that you think you can manage. And this is where we create the benefit. Let's just start out humbly, something small, something doable, and we build on it. And this determination to refrain from doing things it gives us strength, kind of like it's a support for ourselves. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind. He melts into light and absorbs into you through your crown. Just imagine him melting into you. And you think, my guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. And his beautiful English. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level your mind understands emptiness, place it there for a little while. You can imagine, think of all things as being empty. All phenomena as being empty. All things as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can think of things as being dependent arisings. This depends on this in order for that to happen. Or you can think perhaps the way things are appearing to me right now may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. And that's in everything. Trees, relationships, people, emails. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created by doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Hoi tup shul chang jin jam gon Galloway. Tenzing kyong pelway kunzo dog porze. Jog sum gurway leg mon to drub. Pa dog sog dulje gondu jab ten chok. Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe-Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody. Haven't seen you in a while, Vanessa. Nice to see you. Okay, yeah. Okay, everybody. Lots of love and sweet dreams, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Venerable.